I vowed to transfer schools with my childhood friend when he claimed he was being bullied. But the day before we were to finalize the transfer, he backed out. His friend teased him.
Man, you faked being a punching bag just to get rid of Alice Wiley? That's cold. Oh. You two have been thick as thieves since forever. Are you really cool with her going to a new school alone?
Shane Page brushed it off.
Just another high school across town. Not a big deal. I'm tired of her always being up my ass. This works out perfectly.
I stood frozen outside the door for a long time. Finally, I turned and walked away. On the transfer form, I crossed out Othaport High and filled in the international academy my parents had been pushing for. Everyone seemed to forget that Shane and I were never equals. The moment I overheard the truth, my heart slammed against my ribs. In the past month, my childhood friend Shane Page had been feeding me stories of being jumped, framed, and humiliated at school. I threw myself into shielding him, but I couldn't block every blow. When it became unbearable, I suggested he transfer schools for a clean slate. That day, he was soaked from a bucket of ice water, his sharp cheekbones ghostly pale. He grabbed my hand, trembling.
I can't face a new place alone.
We'd been inseparable since kindergarten, walking to and from school together for over a decade. Deep down, I'd been nursing a quiet crush on him. So, in a rush of loyalty, I promised, "Don't worry, Shane. I'll go wherever you go." But standing outside that private room, I realized it was all a cruel ruse to push me out of his life. Does he hate me that much? Inside, his friend kept talking.
Alice is crazy about you. What if she falls for someone else out there? Her?
Shane coughed, as if the idea was absurd.
She is so loyal she'd take a beating for me and not even flinch. You think she'd ever stop loving me?
His friend muttered.
I don't know. But she doesn't seem like someone you mess with.
Shane said lazily.
No chance. Our school is full of rich kids, but has she ever given any of them a second glance?
His tone dripped with disdain as he continued.
She is always up my ass. It's annoying.
The room burst into laughter, sharp and mocking. I wanted to run, but my feet felt rooted to the ground, forcing me to endure the humiliation. One guy clicked his tongue.
First time I've seen someone push away a girl who is crazy about them. Respect, bro. But if you're sick of her, why not just tell her? She doesn't seem like the type to pester you.
Shane frowned.
She is too intense. Being straight with her wouldn't be that easy.
He paused, then dropped the real bombshell.
Besides, Esther gets all torn up whenever she sees Alice. She only feels okay when I'm there to hold her hand. I'm doing this for Esther's sake. Alice will just have to deal with it for a bit.
It clicked like a puzzle snapping together. Shane started faking the bullying just a week after Esther Hauer was transferred to our school.
You sly brat! A new girl shows up and you're already whipped?
Someone chuckled.
But Esther has got that fragile damsel in distress vibe. Guys eat that up. Unlike her, Alice is sharp and always has that icy glare. That keeps everyone at arm's length. No matter how gorgeous she is, that's a tough sell.
The others piled on, tearing me apart like sharks on a feeding frenzy. Shane didn't stop them or defend me. He even nodded along, agreeing with their jabs. Why did he lie? Did he feel even a flicker of guilt watching me get hurt for him? Did our years of friendship mean nothing? My heart sank into a dark, throbbing abyss.
For a fleeting moment, I wanted to knock down that door and demand answers.
My mom's words echoed in my mind.
Don't waste energy on pointless battles. People don't turn rotten overnight.
In the end, I turned and walked away. The pain crept in slowly. I could have shrugged off a friend's betrayal, but Shane had crossed that line, blurring the boundaries between friendship and something more. that made the cut deeper. The day we agreed to transfer, he dragged me to a bar to celebrate our escape. The dim neon lights cast a hazy glow, and I couldn't tear my eyes off the guy I'd loved in secret for years. My heart raced, wild and untamed. When he leaned in to kiss me, I didn't pull away. Years of bottled-up feelings surged, overwhelming me like a tidal wave. Unable to hold back, I asked, "Shane, what are we now?" He dropped a tender kiss on my forehead.
What else, silly?
The bar exploded with cheers, mirroring the spark in my heart. But just 2 days later, his words shattered that fragile hope. I laughed through my tears, the sound bitter. It looked like that flirty, vague answer was just another trick to shove me aside and make way for Esther. The wind chimes in my bedroom clinked, the breeze, drying my tears bit by bit. My broke heart began to mend. Shane was wrong about us from the very beginning. He was just the Page family's illegitimate son, while I was the sole heirette to the Wiley empire. We were never meant to be tethered together. We belonged to different worlds. The transfer form in my hand was a wreck, the ink smudged by my tears. But it didn't matter. I'd print a new one. The Wiley family always had a backup plan. Then I called Pauline Wiley. "Mom, what's the elite school you mentioned before?" "Yeah, I'm going alone." The wind chimes rang out, crisp and joyful, like they were cheering me on. I closed my eyes, and for the first time in years, Shane's face didn't haunt me. Instead, I saw a guy who looked a little like him, sharper and more striking. He flashed a talky grin, just like he did 2 years ago.
Mark my words, Alice. You'll ditch Shane for me.
I jolted awake. Stanley? Now I was done with Shane. I finished the form and heaved a deep sigh of relief. My heart was finally at peace. Then came a knock on the door. I lived alone in this house, and except for me, only one person knew the passcode. I opened the door, and there stood Shane, his voice as warm as ever.
You didn't show up to say goodbye to our friends. I was worried.
I kept my tone even. My stomach's acting up, so I'm staying in. As I moved to close the door, I caught a glimpse of someone behind him. Esther, small and fragile, flinched when our eyes met. Shane noticed her reaction and pulled her close, his arm a protective shield.
Alice, you're scaring her.
Ugh, there she goes pulling that timid act again, like I was some monster, when I hadn't done a thing. My expression hardened. "I told you, I don't want strangers in my house." Shane's brow fuddled.
Esther's not a stranger. She came because she cares about you.
Before I could respond, Esther's eyes welled up with tears. "Alice, I'm sorry. I know you've always looked down on me, but I swear I shower every day." She sniffled, all pitiful. "I won't mess up your house." Shane glared at me.
Her family is not rich, but she's not what you think. You're really letting me down here.
Esther tugged at his sleeve, playing the bigger person. "It's okay, Shane. Don't fight with her over me." She forced a teary smile. "She said you two go way back. How could I ever compare?" Shane murmured, cupping her face gently.
Don't say that. You're one of a kind.
The next morning, I took my new transfer form to school. I stared blindly at the transfer application form stamped with an ink pad until someone blocked my path. Shane's brows crest.
You changed the passcode on your house? I went back to check on you after dropping Esther off, but I couldn't get in.
I cut him off. "Yeah, I changed it." He swallowed his displeasure, slipping back into that familiar, warm tone.
What's the new code? So I can swing by and look after you.
"No need, I'm moving out after the transfer." He glanced at the folded form in my hand and face-palmed.
Oh, right. I forgot about that. Don't worry, I'll get mine stamped tomorrow.
Walking and talking with him felt like a faint echo of our past. Ever since Esther entered the picture, these moments had all but vanished.
Oh shit, I forgot today's final exam!
I stopped and closed my eyes, letting nostalgia tug at me one last time. Then I tested him. After all we've been through, you don't need to worry about me. He was silent for a moment.
Actually,
Shane!
Esther suddenly appeared behind him, clutching a stack of notebooks. Her voice was sugary and whiny.
Shane, you promised to help me study. Where did you run off to? She shoves the notes into his hand and blinks innocently. I saw your tutoring plan goes 2 months out, so I prepared some study materials. You're not mad I snooped, right?
Not at all.
Shane responded with a forced smile, shooting me a quick, guilty glance. I knew what was going on. While he was pushing me away, he'd been planning a future with Esther, one that didn't include me. I kept my expression neutral, but inside, bitterness spread like a slow-burning whiskey. I dug my nails into my palm to stay grounded. I'll leave you to it.
Esther gasped, acting like she'd just noticed me.
Alice, are you upset because I'm studying with Shane? I don't have the money or connections like you do, so—
Her voice cracked, and she started sobbing.
I skirt around them and snap, get out of my way.
Shane's guilt vanished at my blunt words. He grabbed my wrist, his voice hot with anger.
What's with that attitude?
He yanked me toward Esther and barked.
Apologize to her!
The last shred of longing in my heart crumbled. My hand flew up, slapping him across the face. You're the one who owes an apology, not to Esther, but to me. Back home, I sifted through the keepsakes Shane had given me over the years. The silver necklace, my 18th birthday gift, gleamed under the light. I'd worn it to school once, proud as anything, until I saw an identical one around Esther's neck. She'd blushed, saying, Shane promised I'd have everything you have. A bitter smile tugged at my lips as I recalled Shane's endless doting on Esther, always taking her side. If that was how he wanted it, these relics could go straight to the dumpster. I booked a flight for the next day, ready to spend my last night in quiet reflection. At 2 a.m., my phone blared, jolting me from a hazy dream. I answered groggily, but the line was silent. Just as I was about to hang up, Shane's voice came through, heavy and low.
Alice, I'm sorry.
My brain snapped awake. Is he finally coming clean? But then, he said,
Esther hurt herself. I can't leave her alone, so I'm delaying the transfer.
That spark of hope crashed and burned, leaving me feeling like a fool. Oblivious, he continued.
Just say sorry.
I was stunned. What? He doubled down, his tone firm.
You need to apologize to Esther. She hurt herself because of you.
I was speechless, but then it all made sense. With Esther around, every word I said was wrong. Shane's voice turned colder than a winter storm.
You're so disappointing. If you say sorry, we can pretend this never happened. In 2 months, I'll join you at the new school. Are you really going to throw away our years of friendship over this?
His words carried a sharp threat, but I felt no pain or reluctance. There was only annoyance. I hung up, blocked his number, and deleted it from my phone. I couldn't wait to board that plane. All I wanted now was to get as far away from him as possible. I would no longer follow Shane. I would follow my own dreams. The world abroad felt vibrant, like a fresh canvas. Someone grabbed my suitcase, and I looked up into Stanley Rossi's eyes. He grinned.
Alice, long time no see.
I shook his hand, a genuine smile breaking through. Good to see you, Stanley. My phone buzzed, cutting through the moment. It was one of Shane's friends. When I answered, Shane's voice came through, laced with panic.
Alice, which class did you transfer to? Why is everyone saying they haven't seen you?
Before I could respond, Stanley cut in.
Want me to show you around your new school? Want me to show you around your new school?
His face was pure innocence, like he was just being helpful, but Shane lost his temper.
You're with Stanley? Where are you?
His voice grated like nails on a chalkboard, forcing me to hold the phone away from my ear. None of your business, he barreled on, incredulous.
You're mad at me, so you ran off? To get back at me, you're hanging with a lowlife like him?
His venomous words got under my skin. I snapped. Shut up! Taking a deep breath, I said firmly, You're the real lowlife here. I threw his poison back at him, and it felt like reclaiming a piece of myself. Don't call me again. We're done. I hung up, blocked the number, and turned to Stanley with a sheepish smile. Sorry about that. He grinned, winking.
Treat me to dinner, and we'll call it even.
Deal. I laughed, the tension melting away. The two brothers were like night and day. When Knox Pake cheated, his mistress gave birth to Shane and moved into their house. Andrea Rossi didn't mess around. She divorced swiftly, took most of the family's fortune, and raised Stanley, who was already showing his brilliance. Stanley changed his last name and built a new life abroad with his mother. Pauline always spoke highly of them, saying the Page family went downhill after Andrea left.
Shane's title was nothing but an empty shell.
Whenever it came up, Pauline would sigh.
Why did Alice have to fall for Shane, of all people?
I used to pity Shane, thinking he couldn't choose his roots. I was grateful that Pauline respected my choices, and time proved she was right about everything. Older people saw through the haze. Sea breeze brushed my cheeks, pulling me from my thoughts. Shaking my head, I looked at it and raised an eyebrow at Stanley. This doesn't look like the way to a restaurant. He chuckled.
Your mom's orders. Don't shoot the messenger.
I smiled, turning to watch the sunset bathe the road in gold and crimson. The car stopped in front of a sleek, understating villa. Enrolling in the new school was just a formality for appearances. Stanley and I had been raised as successors since we could walk. Soon enough, we got invited to high-profile business events. In a violet gown Pauline picked out, I mingled with a champagne flute. All smiles and small talk, until I spotted Stanley, who wore a tailored suit. Stanley walked over with his usual steady pace, a faint smile tugging at the corner of his lips.
You look stunning tonight, Alice. Purple has always suited you best.
I felt my cheeks warm slightly. Thank you. The flower on your suit, did your mom pick it? He leaned in a little closer, his voice low and teasing.
No. I picked it myself. I wanted us to match tonight.
A violet flower pinned to his shoulder stood out, clashing with his calm demeanor. The crowd around us drifted away, and I sighed. Look at us, both stuck playing dress-up for the adults. Stanley's eyes crinkled into a smile.
I don't mind it one bit.
That dinner somehow got spun into our engagement party by our mothers. We were adults, not kids playing house, so we laughed it off as a joke. But I underestimated how serious they were about pairing us up. When I got a butterfly-themed watch from Pauline, Stanley got the men's version from Andrea a few days later. When Stanley got cufflinks from Andrea, Pauline handed me the matching set for a big negotiation. It became our little routine, like an inside joke. But this time, Stanley locked eyes with me, his voice steady and deliberate.
What if I say, I'm all in this time?
He stepped closer, his words like a clear stream rippling through my heart.
Or every time.
Golden fireworks lit up the sky from the cruise ship, and his unwavering gaze made my heart skip. Falling for him felt as natural as breathing. After the engagement party, my family arranged an internship for me at a company back home. Pauline was already dreaming big.
You and Stanley will run things inside, while Andrea and I handle the outside.
My dad joked, asking me to keep an eye on her, so Andrea didn't steal her away. I laughed, their hopes and quirks packed in my suitcase as I boarded the plane. At the gate, Stanley slipped one of those wind chips into my hand. He was always reserved, but that action spoke louder than any words. Months apart, school days felt like a faded scramshot. Jessica and I hugged, tears streaming down our faces.
Oh, babe, I've missed you so much.
When Jessica showed me the graduation photo, it was like peering into someone else's life. On the picture, Shane and Esther stood side by side, looking every inch the perfect couple. My eyes slid over their smiling faces, but my heart didn't stir. Jessica was still pissed.
We hated seeing you leave, but now I'm glad you did. You don't know how bad it got. Esther has been acting like she runs the place, with Shane as her lapdog. And she has been spreading lies about you. We've been shutting them down, but it's a lot. Shane just protects her blindly. After all those years you two had, he's still backing her up. What a jerk.
I sighed and took a sip of my juice. He probably thinks I'm the bad guy here. Frowning slightly, I added, Esther didn't used to be this bold, did she?
Yes, she's just a beach.
My friend jumped at the chance to vent and showed me a bunch of screenshots from Esther's Instagram. The first post read, "Thanks to you, my sweet 16 wasn't a total mess like most kids." One photo below showed Shane bending down to slip heels onto Esther's feet, and a group shot caught me in the corner, sweaty and frazzled. I remembered the day of running the student council event. Esther must have gone out of her way to catch me looking rough. I scrolled through, unimpressed, until the last post stopped me cold. The caption read, "I'm all yours now." The photo below showed a blood-stained bedsheet.
She's been throwing shade at you forever, painting you as the other woman and acting like she and Shane were always a thing. But you didn't even flinch.
Shane just wanted to soak up both me and Esther, fawning over him. My friend added, "She drugged Shane." After graduation, my eyes widened. She went that far? My friend huffed.
Yeah, it was a huge scandal. Once they were official, Esther got cocky. But posting that bedsheet? So tacky. Bet Shane regrets it.
I calmed her down. Thanks for having my back. If this happens again, I'll get my lawyer on it. We chatted casually, and she concluded,
"Glad you've moved on. Shane is not worth it."
I didn't feel a thing. The boy I'd loved so fiercely was now just a topic for small talk. Time was really the best medicine. The office was not far, and I drove to my villa to grab some files. Pauline had bought me a cozy place with a sprawling garden to keep me comfortable. When I punched in the gate code, I nearly jumped out of my skin. Someone was slumped in the hallway. He turned his head, revealing a pair of bloodshot eyes. I scowled. "Shane? How did you get in here?" My gaze fell on his bruised knees, and I frowned.
"You climbed my gate? What do you want?"
He stared at me unblinkingly, then spoke.
You've lost weight.
I had no idea what he was playing at and turned to leave. He lunged, wrapping me in a crushing... Thankfully, my self-defense training wasn't just for show. I shoved him off, wiping my arms in disgust.
"Have some respect."
He laughed low and bitter.
Respect? You and Stanley have been playing House Abroad, and you're telling me to have respect? Do you know how desperately I've been looking for you?
His voice cracked. My hand flew, slashing him across the face. "Watch your mouth." His relentless pestering was laughable now. I calmed down and said evenly, "Me going abroad was what you wanted, wasn't it? Faking being bullied, so I'd take the hits for you. Aren't you thrilled about your victory?" The color drained from his face. His eyes widened, and his lips trembled.
You knew everything? I can explain.
I shrugged, done with his excuses. Not interested. Stepping closer, I spotted Esther hovering outside and lowered my voice, just loud enough for the two of us to hear. "That bloody bedsheet is online, and you've got the nerve to pester me? You're pathetic. I strode inside and called the security guards from down the street to escort them out. As I passed the window, I heard a furious cry.
You bitch! You've humiliated me!
A sharp slap rang out, clear even through the soundproof glass. I caught a glimpse of Esther clutching her face and wailing. I pulled the curtains shut and checked in with Stanley. Busy? Miss you. I ran into Shane again at a welcome back party thrown by my friends. The bright afternoon sun sparkled across the pool water, and the crisp scent of chlorine mixed with fresh cocktails and sunscreen created a lively, relaxed vibe. I lingered by the poolside, soaking it in, when an uninvited guest crashed the scene. The chatter died down for a beat, the air thick with tension. Nobody invited him, Jessica told my sleeve and whispered. I shot Jessica a look. Of course he's here for me. She tensed up, then added with a hint of disgust. Those two are like roaches now. The Page family is in the gutter, and they're not thriving either. Especially Esther. She acts like Shane is some prize and gets jealous of any girl who gets close. I glanced over, and sure enough, Esther was trailing Shane like a shadow, then shot me a glare. The table fell into an awkward hush as eyes darted between us. Esther, who had been hovering like a clingy shadow, suddenly straightened up, her face adorned with a saccharine smile that didn't reach her eyes. She possessively linked her arm through Shane's.
Alice?
Esther cooed, deliberately raising her voice loud enough for all the friends around to hear. Her voice dripping with fake sympathy.
Still showing up to these parties alone? Studying abroad all by yourself must be so lonely, don't you think? Oh, I forgot. You're engaged to some man now. I saw the photos from your little engagement ceremony. You two look so perfect together. I'm just worried about you. You're practically a socialite in this city, and I'd hate to see you get fooled by some nobody.
She let out a sigh as if she felt sorry for me. I knew she was trying to plant something in everyone's minds. Esther, darling. So your version of not being alone is drugging him after graduation, then showing off bloody sheets online like a desperate tabloid? Girl, your happiness is something else. A few awkward chuckles rippled through the group. Esther's face flushed crimson. Shane ignored Esther completely and turned to me warmly.
Alice, you look even more beautiful than before.
Esther's face stiffened with jealousy.
It's been ages since we met. I couldn't stop thinking about you. The way we used to walk home together.
Shane, stop. I have a fiancé now. Stop saying things that could be misunderstood.
I'm so sorry I hurt you before. Please, can you forgive me? I really do have genuine feelings for you. It's just that...
Shane tried to drop to his knees to beg me. Enough. You're not asking for my forgiveness right now. This is nothing but pressure. Stop putting on that loving act. I already have a fiancé. I turned to leave, but at that moment, consumed by jealousy, Esther shoved me hard from behind. I lost my balance, teetering on the edge of the pool. In a swift move, I grabbed Esther's arm and pulled her down with me. We both fell into the pool with a huge splash. Water flew everywhere. The crowd gasped in shock.
Oh my God! Alice!
Esther emerged from the water, drenched and screaming.
You beach! You did that on purpose!
Shane stood frozen for a second, then panicked and rushed to the edge, about to jump in. Just as Shane was about to dive in, Stanley suddenly appeared. Stanley jumped into the pool without hesitation, swimming straight to me. He wrapped a strong arm around my waist and lifted me out of the water with ease. On the other side, Esther clambered out of the pool alone, soaked and seething. Shane stood beside her, yet his gaze stayed locked on me, filled with concern. Stanley stepped in front of me, gently placing a towel around my shoulders.
Alice, are you okay?
I shook my head, wiping water from my face. I'm fine. Stanley turned toward Esther and Shane, his voice cold and commanding.
There are security cameras here. We'll see exactly who pushed my fiancé. The police are on their way. Save your explanations for them.
I looked at his tall frame, stifling a laugh. He'd clearly dressed up to see me. His tie and cufflinks perfectly matched to my outfit. Too bad everything's soaked, but he still looks insanely good. The police arrived, sirens cutting through the night. My friends, wondering where I'd gone, spilled out and saw Esther being stuffed into a police car. She thrashed and screamed,
Who do you think you are touching me? My man is the heir to the Page family. Let go of me. I need to find him.
All eyes turned to Shane, but the guy who'd once doted on her just stood there, silent and attached. He really knew how to protect himself. I gave him one last look, and the boy from my youth turned to ashes. It was late when we finished the statements at the police station. Therefore, I took Stanley back to my villa.
I miss you.
Miss you too. Stay with me tonight, Stanley. He smiled softly, cupping my face with both hands.
I'm not going anywhere.
Maybe we ought to hit the shower. Stanley kissed me tenderly, as if I were something precious. His lips moved slowly against mine, full of patience and love, among the soft pillows.
Tell me if you want me to stop. You're everything to me, my princess. I've waited so long for this.
Every movement was filled with love and tenderness. He watched my face the entire time, making sure I felt only pleasure and safety. I wrapped my arms around his neck, losing myself in the warmth between us. The next morning, I woke to the smell of fresh coffee and pancakes. I leaned against the kitchen door frame, watching him scrub dishes. Already practicing for husband of the year? I asked, arching my brow.
Ring yet, so I gotta be on my best behavior to impress my girl.
He teased, half serious.
What if she gets mad and dumps me?
He flicked water at my nose, grinning. I laughed, thinking of my friend's nosy stares as we left the party. Scrolling through my phone, I stopped at a headline and smirked. Looking for a ring? Here's your chance. 2 headlines stood out. Wily heiress caught in scandalous affair with married man. Wily heiress's messy private life. Mystery man sleepover. The Wily name bounced back. But the trolls kept yapping. Explain your messy love life. Who is the big shot you're shacking up with? Is he the one getting you to that high position in the company? Stanley frantically set up a Twitter account, like the world was ending. I chuckled. No rush. He kissed my forehead, dead serious in his chaos.
Nobody gets to slander you.
A notification soon popped up. You've been followed by Stanley Rossi. As I glanced down at his verified account, he tweeted, Hey everyone, on behalf of Rossi Group, big thanks to our future boss lady for letting me crash at her place last night, Alice Wiley. The internet went silent for a second, then exploded like a fireworks show. Stanley looked up, all innocent. I sighed and leaned in to kiss him. One afternoon, as golden sunlight streamed through the tall windows, my phone rang again. It was Jessica. Her voice bubbled with a mix of excitement and schadenfreude. Alice, girl, drop whatever you're doing. You have got to hear this. The Page family is officially done. I settled onto the sofa, pulling a light throw over my legs. Go on. Their company finally went completely bankrupt. Creditors are swarming like vultures. Shane's life has turned into a total mess. He's had to take odd jobs just to scrape by, delivering packages and working late shifts at some low-end bar. She paused for dramatic effect. But the real fireworks happened yesterday evening outside that bar. Esther showed up, all dolled up but furious, when she found out he couldn't even afford to take her to a decent dinner anymore. She lost it completely. Esther screamed at the top of her lungs.
Shane Page, you useless burden! Look at you now!
She started throwing all the gifts he had ever given her right at his face. Necklaces, bracelets, designer bags. Shane looked completely broken. He dropped to his knees in the middle of the sidewalk, grabbing at her arm desperately.
Esther, please, don't leave me. I swear I'll fix this. You're all I have left. I love you, baby.
But Esther just laughed hysterically, slapped him hard across the face, and spit.
Love? You don't even know what that means! I'm done wasting my time on a loser!
Then she stormed off with some new guy waiting in a flashy sports car nearby. She didn't even look back once. There was no surge of anger, no bitter triumph, just a quiet sense of closure. The boy who once made me a fool had finally reaped everything he sowed. Thanks for the update, Jess, really, but I don't care anymore. Their drama has nothing to do with me. I'm happy here with Stanley. Let them tear each other apart.
That's my girl. Finally free. You deserve this peace. Stanley is waiting for you. Go enjoy your life.
I hung up and set the phone aside. Stanley, who had been quietly working nearby, walked over and pulled me into his arms.
Bad news?
Just the end of an old story. One I no longer want to read. He kissed the top of my head, his embrace warm and steady. The Willie and Rossi partnership grew stronger. 3 years later, Stanley and I got married in an old town abroad, where every house had colorful wind claims swaying in the breeze. Their clear, tinkling notes rang out like heartfelt blessings, warm and bright. I walked down the flower-spread aisle in an elegant white wedding dress with subtle purple embroidery, my heart full and steady. Stanley stood waiting for me under a romantic archway woven with vines and purple blooms. He looked incredibly handsome in his tailored suit, a matching purple flower pinned to his lapel, and cufflinks that perfectly complemented mine. His eyes never left me, filled with deep love and quiet possessiveness.
You look breathtaking, Alice. Today, you're finally mine. Completely.
As we exchanged vows, the wind chimes around us seemed to chime louder, as if the whole town was celebrating with us. Stanley, you were the one who showed me what real love feels like. From that purple wind chime you gave me at 16 to this moment, I choose you, today and every day. We kissed under a shower of flower petals as the guests cheered. Jessica was wiping tears in the front row, and both our mothers, Pauline and Andrea, looked on with proud, satisfied smiles. The air was filled with the sweet scent of flowers and the joyful tinkling of countless wind chimes. As the ceremony came to a close and the sun began to dip lower, casting a warm glow over the celebration, a staff member brought me an unexpected gift box. No name was attached, but the Page family logo on the wrapping was unmistakable. After Stanley took over the Rossi group, he'd crushed what was left of the Page family. If they were a crumbling house after Andrea left, Stanley turned it into rubble. He would never forgive those who betrayed his mother. I backed him up without hesitation and pushed harder. The Pages were a ghost in our world now, their names erased. I would not forgive traitors either. So, Shane sending a wedding gift was a shock. Inside the box lay a dazzling purple diamond ring. A forgotten memory from when I was 18 came flooding back. It was blurry, but we were hunched over a practice test. Me pointing out Shane's mistakes. I was head over heels, dreaming of a future with him while circling answers. He wasn't exactly focused either. When he looked at me, his sincerity seemed real.
What kind of ring do you like?
Talking about rings so young made us both blush like fools. After a long pause, I mumbled, "Purple, I guess." I've always loved purple. His voice was soft.
Got it.
The cicadas hummed, and for a moment I believed in forever.
Their company is a wreck, and then he sends a purple diamond? Must have sold his soul for that.
Stanley said, his tone sharp with rare venom. I laughed at his jealous streak. All prickly and puffed up. Donate it. I casually tossed the ring to him. A purple wind chime had stolen my heart when I was 16. Back then, a younger Stanley didn't care about my family's wealth or status. He was just in town helping Andrea with business when he saw the girl next door, me. He overheard Pauline speak to me.
Purple is your favorite color, right? Perfect. Purple is elegant. I love it too.
On a whim, Stanley stayed 2 extra days and had a set of purple wind chimes shipped from abroad. In those days, he watched his half-brother fake an injury to play on my sympathy. He saw me fuss over Shane with growing care. A seed of jealousy took root in his heart, quiet but stubborn. The day he left, he knocked on my door, bold as anything, and handed me the wind chimes. He couldn't hold back and said something rude, testing me. I stood there unfazed, whispering, "Safe travels." Later, I found my joy, and this life held no regret.